June, thank you so much that you visited my place.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So my mom had a book collection of 5,000 or 6,000 books. Basically, I would have to read 50 books a year for, I can't do math, 60 years?
Kellogg help you to make decision and try to figure out how to make this happen.
Yeah.
And you start your vlog. Let's start from beginning. Where you originally from? Where you born? And
I'm born in Montreal. I come from a family of immigrants. On my father's side, they are Russian, and they fled to first to Europe and then to North America after the Russian Revolution. On my mom's side, they're Belarusian, and they came to Canada right after World War II. So my mom was born in Montreal, as was I.
whole life in Montreal.
Yeah.
How you can describe Montreal? It's similar to... I never been there. For me,
It's
it's similar to what? Chicago?
It's quite similar to Chicago, especially the weather. It's Chicago with some older architecture and also French. Chicago's only, mostly Anglophone, it's very English speaking. So take everything that you like about Chicago, the art, the food, the energy, the melting pot of people, but then throw in also the dynamic of two identities, one that is very English speaking and one that is very French speaking.
I met June in our international elective in Lisbon.
In Lisbon.
And let's start from that question. What you did before Kellogg-Schulich, June from Kellogg-Schulich School in Toronto. What you did professionally before you joined the program?
So I'm an accountant by trade, and over the years I went into accounting because I liked the idea of bringing structure to chaos. So I did the usual accounting career, worked in a Big Four in audit, then moved into
which
industry.
company? Big Four?
KPMG.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's office in Chicago.
Yeah, I know. Haven't been yet, but I worked out the Montreal one. That was a great experience. Then I went into industry, and I specialized in manufacturing companies. And that's when I realized that there's accounting and there's finance, and I really like playing in the intersection of finance and the rest of the business. So I really enjoy working in FP&A, sales operations, supply chain, definitely a lot of supply chain. We talked a lot about supply chain in Lisbon. And so I did that for a while, and now I'm currently finding my feet as a fractional CFO, bringing that expertise to other companies and to people who have questions.
Nice. And you decide, okay, I want to go and get new knowledge, or you decided you need Kellogg-Schulich because you want to find new connection, new networking, and why you make the decision?
Yeah, why I made my decision? Well, part of it came because of the pandemic. So the pandemic was awful. In Canada especially, the lockdown measures were very severe. So I didn't leave the country for 21 months. And I'm a bit of a road warrior. Normally I was traveling both for work and for pleasure every three months. So that was crazy. So I was a little stir crazy, and I was just like, I need to catch up for lost time. I need a challenge. So that was part of it. And the other part of it was a bit of a mistaken belief that doing an Emba was a way to sort of buy credibility that I thought I was missing. And I think an Emba is fantastic and can give credibility, but that idea that you can buy it if people don't want to think you're credible, that there's anything you can do to go buy it, that was maybe an immaturity on my end. But it was sort of that. I wanted to show and to prove that I am as credible as anyone else. So I approached it a bit from a spirit of cabin fever from the pandemic, and I didn't know this, but basically a spirit of insecurity from my professional standing. And the good news is that the Kellogg-Schulich program and Kellogg in general, doesn't matter why you apply. Once you're in it, it is the most transformative experience that you could ever wish. So here I am, and I'm very, very lucky.
And you joined the program. You find many people from different industries, right?
Yeah.
You want to do something new, or you figure out like, okay, these people start something new, and I want to try. You get like your self-esteem higher or something to do something new.
Yeah.
Because many people start business. Someone start vlog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone start vlogging. Someone start something else.
Well, it's funny you say that, but yes. So in general, I think what the Emba taught me, the biggest gift that the Emba gave me, is it shattered my preconceived notions of what success looks like. And I don't know if everyone goes through this or if it's particular to accountants. But in accounting, for example, there's a very traditional hierarchy of how you progress. So I had been measuring my success up to that point in life with how many, where am I on the ladder and how have I gone and how many more steps do I have to go. When I got to the Emba, first of all, every background, be it industry background, life story background, country of origin, what discipline or function they're in, there was no success. It was being in rooms with hundreds of people with their unique stories and unique challenges. So it broke down, it gave me the flexibility to say success can be different. And thank God. Because if I hadn't experienced that, I'm not sure how I would have handled the actual realization that I went to Kellogg, one of the best business schools in the world, only to then realize that really what I'd like to do is to be a writer.
Kellogg helped you to make decision and try to figure out how to make this happen.
Yeah.
And you started your vlog.
I started, yeah. So I have a blog. I've been growing it as much as I can and practicing my writing. And my blog has two main topics. One is, this. So my mom had a book collection of 5,000 or 6,000 books. And when she died...
6,000 books.
Yeah, 5,000 to 6,000 books. And when she died, I inherited them. I didn't have room for 5,000 or 6,000 books. So I actually finished counting them. I have 2,803 books. And so I sorted through her books. My father and I gave away quite a bit. I've kept what I could. He still has about 1,000. So between us, just under 4 out of the 6. And so 2,800 books is almost 3,000 books. So basically, I would have to read 50 books a year for, I can't do math, 60 years, I think, right? So I'm not allowed to die before I'm 100. That's how long it would take for me to read all these books. And that's what motivated me to start this blog, to share in the challenges of this library, to share the discoveries of what I'm reading, because my mom she had everything. She had all the great detective novelists from the 1920s and 30s, and I think every Nobel Prize winner of all time, and ancient Greek, and philosophy. She had everything. And I've kept a sample of everything, but there's going to be stuff that I don't like. There's going to be stuff that I don't understand.
Mom had all these books in her house or special room?
Yeah, no, she...
few rooms?
Yeah, yes, it was a few rooms. So we lived in a 2-story house in suburbs of Montreal. And there was one room in particular, we actually called it the library, because I think there was 3 or 4 bookshelves, floor to ceiling. That was my father's housewarming gift to her. He made these bookshelves from scratch. They're perfectly painted and lacquered, and that was his gift to her when they bought the house. So there was a whole room like that. There was my childhood bedroom after I moved out was converted into a second library. There was in the music room, all her artsy books. So there's books all over the place. The hallway upstairs had bookshelves. It wasn't a library, it was just a hallway, but we needed space for them, so yeah.
What do you think trend about reading books? It will be, because now I think was electronic books popular,
Yeah.
and now I think everything a little bit back. That people love to read paper books.
I think so. I think that there is something comforting in having a tangible object in your hands. I think there's also something comforting. It's very nice to get new books, love it. But knowing that it's a book that someone read before you, then it becomes a very interesting experience, because it's not just the connection of the reader with the physical book, but you can't help but feel a certain connection with whoever read it earlier. One thing I really enjoy is when I open a book that is used, the book opens to whatever page the previous owner looked at the most. And just that's interesting to see where they followed and try to guess, right, on 2 pages. What is it about these 2 pages that drew the other person? So it creates these layers of connection. And I think that now that we live in a world that is very digital, love the remote lifestyle, it's fantastic, there's still these moments of less connection. So even if it's with an object, that creates a certain level of security, it creates a sense of community, asynchronous community, but it's still community. So I think books are here to stay.
Yeah, agreed. Say a few more words about your blog. How your blog can be useful for people.
Well, 2 ways. If ever you're not sure what you want to read and you're looking for ideas, come to the blog.
Okay, as I go on the blog and I want to read non-fiction book. Do you have non-fiction book?
I do have nonfiction.
Okay, for example, I know some favorite book. I don't know if you have Atlas Shrugged. It's one of my favorite books.
I haven't read it yet. I have it, but I haven't read it
Okay,
yet. Okay, I will let you
okay,
know.
but if
I will
you-
send you the link when
For example, you have it.
Yes.
I found it. You give me a small description. What's
Yeah.
this book about?
What's this book about? And what I find interesting is, why did it matter to me?
Okay.
Because I find in book reviews, sometimes people are writing book reviews and it's all this stuff and it could be very interesting and academic. But I'm often curious to understand, how did it make the person feel and why? Either because I'm interested in knowing if I think that's going to happen to me, that may or may not be a fit for what I'm looking for, but also to compare with whatever is my experience, because that's one of the things I find fascinating. Both of us can read a book and it can mean 2 very different things. So I do enjoy including that. So what is the book? What was the author? And then what was my experience of the book? The other thing that I talk about a lot on the blog is I do share personal stories. A lot of them do revolve around my struggles with mental health and how I've been navigating it. And so I think that is useful for people, just because hopefully breaks down some of the feelings of isolation and solitude for anyone that's going through any mental health difficulty.
So you make me to ask you another question.
Okay.
I always wondering. I read book Carnegie. How to make friends.
Yes,
something.
yes. How to
And I think-
influence people. No, how to make friends and influence people.
Yes, something
yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
And he said one stuff. I think it's him. Maybe I'm wrong. If you have time to think you happy or not, it means you're not enough busy.
I can see why you would like that.
You know? And I'm not sure if he, maybe it's not him,
Yeah.
but someone says that
Yeah.
for sure. Why I wanna, what is my question about? I wanna ask, not many people, like you said, struggle with mental health and
Yeah.
other stuff, right? I think it's even more than before.
Yes, I agree.
And we live in an era when we have much better level of living than before,
Yeah.
right? If you go in many, many, many years ago, man need to hunt and
Yeah.
find the food,
Yeah.
sometimes for few days, to find
Yeah.
food and feed the family. Woman was struggling with kids,
Yeah.
without gadget, without TV,
Yeah.
without anything. And as other stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't have light, we didn't
Yeah.
have gas, we didn't have oil, nothing.
Yeah.
People would not think about that in the past, about mental health, than now. People
Yeah.
try to do in the same time many things,
Yeah.
and they not concentrate. It can be also overwhelming.
Right.
Because I don't have any other answer. We have good cars, we have good
Yes,
apartments.
and I think-
yeah, we have much liabilities now. Because even if we back in time, my parents, right, they live in USSR. I'm not sure they were happier or not happier than people in US in that time, because they didn't have diapers.
Yeah.
They didn't have food for kids.
Yeah.
My sister waited 2 hours in a line to buy milk
Yeah.
and other stuff in 90s. People were all the same, and I'm not sure if they was happier or less happier than people who live and have everything. I also say when people say money not important in life or something like that, I don't think right to say, because you can provide good health care,
Yeah.
good education for your kids, for your
Yeah.
family. You can live in good place, right?
Yeah.
It's of course it's have effect on your happiness.
Yeah.
But is this more important stuff? Probably not. If you wanna be happy, you have to see sunrise, breathe, and figure out, because usually the things which make you happy, free, right?
Yeah.
Hugs, love, meet friends, meet family. This is a sunrise,
Yeah.
sunset,
Yeah.
wine, maybe not that good wine, but still wine,
That's wine.
right?
Some flowers. Yeah.
And it's not that expensive stuff
Yeah.
to make you happy. But finance still important.
Well, I think, I don't remember what the statistic was, but there was something like money does buy happiness up to.
I hear that 100,000 something in US or
Yeah, or just-
70,000.
Yeah. in
After
the
that,
States.
it doesn't mean
After
anything.
that, there's no incremental increase in happiness. And I
Yeah.
think that's to your point, because up until that threshold, whatever it is, just under 6 figures, that's where you're not, depending on just how little money, you might not even be able to afford the cheap glass of wine or whatever. Anyways, so yes, I think money buys happiness up to a point, but it's important to know that beyond that point, it doesn't. And I think we forget that.
Okay, we'll put link to
Yes.
your blog,
Oh,
your Instagram,
thank you.
your Facebook.
I am on Facebook.
And please join June blog.
And
Read-
like and follow.
Like and
and follow.
Must.
Yes.
Thank you so much that you
Thank
visit,
you.
and it was great, always great to talk with you. And I wish you to find way when you'll be happy, in the same time financially stable, and meet another time and record probably another episode. Thank you so much.
I love that you care about people's stories.
Thank you.